Welcome back to my channel. First we do the removal of the front forks, in a more correct way than last time. Next, I create seat brackets, during which there are massive spark showers from both the angle grinder and the MIG welding. Hope you enjoy this episode. This time, I start removing the front forks by removing the front wheel, followed by the temporary handlebar and front shock absorbers, and finally the steering shaft. I will remove the fork so that we can modify the steering shaft for suitable bearings. After removing the front forks, I removed the outer rings of the old bearings from the mother tube. I don't use special tools intended to this, but at least you could say unusual ones. I removed the upper end using a pipe, because its round edge gives a better surface area on the opposite surface, and thanks to this, it stays in place better and speeds up the work. As for removing the lower end, I had to use a little, or actually a lot of heat, my fine-tuning hammer, and finally a more special tool I made myself. After the front forks was taken care of from underneath, I moved on to making the seat brackets. I started by making the rear bracket iron that goes between the rear frame tubes. As a material, I used flat iron that had been on the shelf for about 50 years. I measured the distance by eye on the stove and drew the marks and cut a piece of suitable size. After fitting it in place, I cleaned the rust with the steel brush of the angle grinder. I then measured the spot and used magnets to hold the piece in place. Then we just melt the iron together. While I had welder on hand, I decided to weld the bottom tray of the bench and the outer edges of the back link better. Yes, sparks are great. After sparking, I made helper lines from the rear bracket to the frame and drilled holes to the seat base. At this stage, the purpose of the holes is to help so that the seat base always comes in the same place. After that I started to make the front bracket, or latch, or whatever it's called, from the same flat iron that had been on the shelf for 50 years. I marked the points on the iron that would somehow hit the counterpart and where I want to bend it. I do the bends because the bottom of the seat base is significantly lower than the front bracket, which the front latch should attach to. Because the material is thick, I use heat and violent fine-tuning hammers. When the bends are done, I make a temporary attachment and fit the bench. Oh yes, this would be way easier if I attach wires to workbench. But on the other hand, you can also use a heavier hammer and more force. Now is a good time to subscribe to the channel and like the video. As you can see, this is what it has become now. Jump to the next episode and see how the saga continues, or see how it got to this point from previous episodes.